Once upon a time, in a land far, far away, in a time long, long ago. Don't you love a good story? Stories pull us in. They capture our imagination and can evoke so many emotions in us. Now, you might be wondering, why is a life coach talking about storytelling? What's the tie-in here? Which would be a fair question. And my answer for you is this. You are a storyteller too. We all are. We are each telling stories to ourselves, about ourselves. And just like the fictional stories from a great storyteller, the stories we tell ourselves evoke emotion too, although frequently it's not very pleasant emotion, not empowering emotion. Stick with me and we will talk about this craft of storytelling and how to tell yourself a very empowering story. Stay tuned. Hi, my name is Diane Martinez. I'm a certified holistic life coach and storyteller. I live in Atlanta, Georgia, and I'm very happy to have you with me. Whether you are new to my channel or are a visitor coming back, welcome. I'm so glad that you're here. So storytelling is a real craft. I used to teach fourth grade for 10 years, and I was an assistant at the school for 3.5 years before that. And I got to see a lot of storytellers taking the class to the library to see visiting authors and speakers, and really came to appreciate how impactful a well-told story is. To see like 92 little fourth graders just on, sitting on their knees on the floor. They just, can't wait for the next thing in the story. It's impactful. In my own classroom, I started telling stories from my youth, and my students loved them more than anything. They used to beg for stories when I would tell about when I rode my tricycle down the hill in the backyard and hit a young tree and knocked it over and tried to cover it up by doing a couple things. I was afraid to tell my parents. They thought that stuff was hilarious. I annoyed other teachers in classrooms because my kids would be pounding their desks saying, "Story, story." Stories are fun. But when it comes to the stories we tell ourselves about ourselves, those are usually anything but fun. What do I mean by that? We tell ourselves stories to either explain why we are where we are in life, making excuses for ourselves, explaining away things that we wish hadn't happened. And I get it. I know many people have suffered horribly as young children, whether from abuse, physical, verbal, sexual, from neglect, from all manner of things. And I don't mean to make light of anything anyone has gone through. But the stories that we tell ourselves about why we are where we are usually serve to keep us stuck rather than propel us toward what we want to create in life. And that's what I want to talk to you about today. Frequently, let's say that you came from a rather large family and your parents were hard workers, but you never had enough money to take a nice family vacation. You had to pay for your own education. You feel like the story is coming up like, I didn't have the advantages that so many other kids had that I went to school with. I didn't get to do all those things and see all those places. I wasn't enriched by all those experiences. I had to earn my way through school. My parents didn't pay for me. Do you see how that narrative is creating a victim mentality? I am a victim of my life. I haven't done the things that I would like to do, or I haven't been as successful as I want to be because of all of those things in my past. That narrative, that story, this person is telling about themselves, they're using it as an excuse to stay stuck. Now, you could say, well, do you want them to just lie about it and pretend that didn't happen? No, not at all. but you can take that same circumstance and tell a different story. I was blessed to grow up in a large family with a lot of commotion, but also a lot of love. We didn't have a lot of material things, but we certainly had some great memories, and I cherish those. I got to learn how to really apply myself and work hard and appreciate the education I afforded myself. I feel proud of myself for that. That's starting my adult life with a real sense of accomplishment and confidence, because I know I can take care of myself. You see the difference a story can make? Coming from the same circumstance, you can tell a different story and end up feeling empowered instead of victimized. Now, again, don't want to make light of anything that anyone has gone through, but I invite you to look back on the things that happened to you that you can tell a story of. It's like, my fiance broke up with me and I just don't trust relationships anymore. Relationships aren't for me. I'm just not lucky in love. Sad story. Flip it. Write an empowering story. My heart has been broken and I have learned so much about love and relationships. And with every relationship, I grow wiser. And I am more ready than I have ever been to enter into a relationship with a grown-up heart and mind. I know that I'm good on my own. I'm not looking for someone to complete me, just someone to, share the journey of life with. That's very different energy. Do you see? You go from victim to being empowered. So I encourage you to look back on the things that you feel like have held you back in your life. What is the story you have told yourself about them? Maybe it's not that you're a victim, or maybe it's something that you messed up. I messed up so horribly. My parents paid for my college, but I partied my way through it and got kicked out. Now I can't get a good job because I squandered my college experience. So a story could be about how, I've messed up, now I can't have a good life. Turn it. Flip it from being something that holds you back into something that is empowering. If that were your story, what would you have learned? Like the blessing of a good education, of taking advantage of your opportunities, of how much fun it is really to learn, and how partying at the moment might be fun, but for a long-range plan, that's not how you get where you want to go. For whatever circumstance that left you feeling like life has shorted you somehow, I encourage you to retell that story. Put a different spin on it. Pull the blessings and the lessons from that story and create an empowering story for yourself. How the things that have happened to you or that you did in the past have informed you, has maybe softened you or made you more compassionate or wise. Life will teach us if we let it. And when you take the time and the emotional and spiritual energy to reflect on the stories you tell yourself, and if they're not great stories, to reframe them and tell them so that they are empowering, beautiful stories, because your life is your unique journey. It itself is a great story. So embrace that and learn how to craft your own happy story with a wonderful ending. I hope that has been helpful to you. If so, please give it a thumbs up. If you're enjoying the content here at Conscious Creating Life Coaching, please subscribe. It's totally free, and it just helps get this out to more people in the world. And if you'd like to dive a little bit deeper, I have a Patreon page for women only where we go deep into all kinds of good topics like this, making peace with the inner critic and creating healthy boundaries and stress management and time management and all kinds of good, empowering stuff. So check it out on my Patreon page. And until next time, my friends, create your story consciously. Bye for now.